Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to another episode of Soulwise with me, Semele Sherry. And this episode is speaking directly to the intense time of the eclipses that we're having in September. So I'd written a post and scheduled it to go out the day before the lunar eclipse, which happened on Sunday the 7th of September. And this is what it said. Relationships, old thought or belief patterns, indeed anything could suddenly leave your life. This is all about moving into more authenticity, so you're likely to be feeling intense emotions, both dark and light. They are opposite sides of the same coin. So take the time to allow and feel them all. Breathe deeply and let them move through. Don't try to hold on to what is ready to end now, because you need space for what's to come. Trust that. Well, life wasted no time in putting what I'd written on my business page to the test. On the day of the lunar eclipse, I faced my greatest fear in finding my voice. Standing before a room of people, not hidden behind a character, but simply as myself, sharing a story I had written. Since childhood, I've loved acting on stage. I could be seen and heard, but always as someone else. Every word belonged to the playwright. Every gesture was rehearsed. I knew exactly what to say, when to say it, and how it would land. It felt safe. I never had to reveal me. So bear in mind the message of that eclipse season, and here's a lovely quote from Paulo Coelho. Don't give in to your fears. If you do, you won't be able to talk to your heart. For years, I toyed with the idea of storytelling. I've always been drawn to its intimacy, the way it invites an audience into shared imagination, a quality we desperately need in these times. But unlike acting, storytelling would mean standing there bare, unmasked, with nothing but my own voice and truth. And that felt terrifying. Like many who work in the spiritual sphere, I carry soul memories of lifetimes where speaking truth in public didn't end well. Vulnerability felt dangerous. So when a friend invited me in June to be the storyteller at her September weekend event, on the very weekend of the lunar eclipse, I shocked myself by saying yes before my brain had time to intervene. And then the story itself arrived. The following weekend, words poured through me as if they'd been waiting. The tale was rooted in the very place where the event would be held, an ancient sacred site and church in Pembrokeshire. The church in Wales planned to sell it, but my friends' community group were taking on the lease, envisioning a vibrant hub for history, art, music, and story. Somehow, the land itself seemed to whisper the tale, and I simply wrote it down. Then the reality sank in. What had I done? My stomach knotted with fear. Normally, I power through challenges alone, but this time, I knew I needed to break that old pattern too and ask for support. And as so often happens, the universe provided abundantly. First came a workshop with the extraordinary Daniel Morden, a master storyteller I've admired for years. His words dripped with wisdom. I scribbled notes furiously, trying to catch each gem. Then came another workshop with Deb Winter, a gifted storyteller who welcomed me into her circle. That afternoon, I had the chance to workshop my story aloud for the first time. Deb listened, offered kind encouragement, and later offered me a 10-minute floor spot whenever I was ready. Her belief in me lit a spark. Finally, 2 days before the event, a dear friend and herself a storyteller sat with me. She lovingly steadied me through a full-on, fear-fueled meltdown. "I can't do this. I wish I'd never said yes." She held my shaking words and gently reflected back. "This is your crisis and initiation moment. You can, and you will." The truth is, the journey taught me more than the arrival ever could. On the Saturday performance, I was still terrified. My mouth was so dry, my lips were sticking to my teeth. And yes, I did leave bits out, but I made it through. The audience met me with warm applause and even cheers, which was more than I ever expected. Relief washed over me. Then came Sunday, the day of the eclipse. The telling on this day was disrupted. Phones rang, people entered noisily, and distractions swirled around me. In the middle of it, I lost my thread. The old performer in me wanted to mask it, push through, pretend nothing had happened, but something deeper chose otherwise. I stopped, breathed, and said simply, "I'm sorry, I've lost my thread. Give me a moment to find it again." For a few seconds, though it felt more like hours, I stood in silence, and then the words returned, and I carried on. When I finished, the room erupted in support. One lovely woman clasped my hand and said, "You were amazing. I could never have the courage to do what you just did." This time, my relief was different. I'd shown not just performer, but vulnerable human. I had faltered openly, and instead of rejection, I met compassion and acceptance. And that, I think, is the real story. That was the real revelation and gift. Eclipses tend always to end one chapter and begin another. For me, this one marked the shift from hiding behind other people's words to standing in my own voice. And though it terrified me, I can now say I'm still here and I'm stronger for it. And as Joseph Campbell said, "The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek." I wanted to share that personal story of making that eclipse journey into fear, into anything that's limiting you expressing your true self, and to stepping into more authenticity. And that's where your real soul power lies. And so I wonder how you experienced the lunar eclipse of the weekend just gone. I would love to hear your stories. Do please share them with me. I would so enjoy hearing what you have to say, and knowing that I wasn't the only one who was going through a bit of a personal crisis there, but moving through and coming out the end stronger and wiser. And so for now, sending you as always my love and blessings, and until next time, look after yourselves and know that we walk through this together. Always in love.